Hello, it's Ashley here from Paper and Twine. I've come on today to show you part 3 of the stationery box tutorial. So we've made the box in part 1 and the pockets and decorated it. In part 2 we made the lid and some of the things that are inside the box. Today I'm going to show you what I filled my box with. Obviously you can put whatever you like in here, and we're going to make just one card together just to finish the box off. So I'm not entirely happy with this yellow card. It's starting to fray in places, if fraying is a thing with card, and you know, cracked in some places as well. And I'm not an aggressive scorer, so but I'm glad to get this yellow out of my stash. So let's have a look and see what we have got inside. So we take the lid off. And this, let's do it this way. Hold on a minute. This folds down like this. And we've got this section here. So we decorated the box together. You saw me do all the stamping. You saw me decorate the panels for the pockets. And we've made the notebook, which opens up like that. And I've used handmade paper. Thought the yellows in it looked really nice with the bee theme. I'm not happy with this pen loop, but I'm going to give this to my mum. She won't mind. You know, it's fine. Obviously, you need to make sure that your pen fits and you can close your sides up. So what have I put in my box? Well, I've got at the moment 5 A2 cards because we're going to make the 6 together. I've got 6 3x3 cards and envelopes and 6 tags. So let's look at the cards first of all. I love 3x3 cards. They're one of my favourites, and for all of the tags and the backgrounds on the cards I've used scraps of paper that I'd already inked using my splodgy technique that I like, and where it needed it I've done a bit of stenciling or extra stamping just to make the background more interesting. So on these 3x3 I've only put one sentiment on one card, and that's this one, Happy Bee Day. Yeah, so there's that one. That one, they've all got my little stamp on the back. Love the pinks and oranges together. They're so lovely, these stamps. The only one I've had an issue with is that background honeycomb stamp with the script on it. For some reason I couldn't get that one to stamp very well. B looks like he's a bit upside down there, but so that's that. And I've made all of my envelopes as well out of 120 GSM copy of paper. Gives a nice weight and feel. And I've just stamped a little bee on the back of all of them just for a little bit of interest. Put a little bit of tape so that the recipient can just stick it down to secure what's inside. So that's those. Then the A2 cards, I have cut my card down to 11 by, is it 4 or 4.5? It's 4.5. So yeah, I've cut my card down to 11 by 4.5 and scored at 5.5 to create my A2 card. And I've got some that open this way and some that open this way. So these have all got sentiments on. I've been thinking about you, quite a nice play on words there. And I like the black stamping on the yellow. I deliberately haven't added a lot of dimension to these because you're limited by the space of the box. Obviously, if you're wanting to do cards with more dimension, you won't be able to get as many in your little box. I've been missing you. I just love my splodgy backgrounds. Yeah. This, I think, is Pretty Gets Gritty explosion powder in Mermaid, and you can see you've got a green, a blue, a lime green, and there's such a lovely shimmer to that. I need to play with those powders more. But I love bees. I absolutely adore bees. Little bit different on this one. I've gone in with the big stencil in, I think it was Wild Honey, which might be a little bit contaminated because it looks a little bit dark, and then just a hint of a flower, the foxglovey type flower, and then the bees. Queen for a Day. So that one obviously opens that way. And then have a beautiful day. Yeah, I just love that big bee, really nice. And in fact, I don't mind that there's tiny little bits of white showing through. It's not solid. Yeah, I like that. So I've again made the envelopes with my envelope punch board, and I've just stamped the little daisy, which I think is one of my favourites, just the small daisy, and the medium-sized bee on the back, just again for a bit of interest. So we'll pop those in there. As I say, this would make such a fantastic gift. And then the tags, again, I've used just scraps. I think I've used every stamp in the set. I don't think there's one I haven't used. I'm liking the pale picked raspberry with twisted citron and whatever background this was. It's quite fresh. So my tags are 3 5/8 by 2 inches. So my mat is 1 7/8 by 3.5. And on the back, I've just cut a piece the same size out of the copier paper. Another thistle one. I did like this kind of thistle. Again, that's the Pretty Gets Gritty Explosion powder. This is Cosmic Shimmer with the daisies. Stamping off so you get different orientations. That's the larger daisy that's slightly more open. The bee in the foxglove. I think this might be very pale Cosmic Shimmer, and I've gone in with a bit of tumbled glass. That one, a little hint of the bee, and the fat thistle, as I call it. So those are my tags, and you can see I've put some stamps in my stamp pocket, and we'll just close that up, and to finish we'll make a card together. And I want this one to sit at the front of my box, so it's going to open this way, and I'm just going to stamp my little logo on the back of my card. And I must thank Julie Pearson, one of my lovely subscribers, who gifted me this stamp. There we go. With these designs, I've used a mixture of the VersaFine Onyx Black and the VersaFine Clair in Nocturne. The stamps that have got finer detail, I've used the VersaFine. The stamps that have got a bit more black on them, I've used this. So that's that. We'll just pop that to one side at the moment. And then I've got this little scrap that I found. It's those Cosmic Shimmers in Lava Red, Mango Blaze, I think it is, and Burnt Orange, or it might be Straw Yellow. And I've just inked a little bit of Wild Honey and picked raspberry through the stencil, just to make the background a little bit more interesting. The only stamp I haven't used is this honey jar, the Drizzler, and the Sweetest Honey. So I think I'm going to use the Sweetest Honey on the card base as a sentiment and have this as a little focal point. So we'll peel that off and put it there. And we want the little honey drizzler, maybe like that there. And then I wonder if we can fit a little bee. I do like this little bee, maybe just the little bee. If I move that over a little bit like that, that's quite a nice little composition. So let's get a acrylic block. This one will do for all of these. I'm going to stamp this first, I think. Just move those out of the way. Let's try our VersaFine Onyx. So you can see I've inked up there, and we'll pop that like that. Leave it a minute to make contact. There we go. Put that back on the sheet. I have enjoyed using this set very much, I must say. So thank you, Creative Stamping Magazine. I think issue 100 is for sale on the 16th of September. Honey Drizzler. Now, if I was doing this for a card that wasn't going in this box, And, you know, I could add more dimension. I might put some glossy accents on the little honey drizzles, but I'm not going to do that today. Pop that back. Then the little bee, just make sure we've got him. Yeah, I'll put him there like that. Again, I'm using the VersaFine Onyx Black for all of these. I'll put him like so. There we go. And pop you just there. Now I'm going to go round the edge of this. One of my hacks to save money really, and weight on cards, and we need to cut down on bulk. So I'm using a metal ruler and a Sharpie pen, and just going to draw an edge around this. So I like to draw a line up to my ruler and then also go along the edge of the card so that you get no white showing. I should just repeat that and come back to you. You don't need to see me do all of that. So you can see I've drawn a thin black line around the edge of that. It just makes it pop a little bit more. Obviously, if you wanted to matte and lay with black card, you could absolutely do that. So I'm going to use my stamp platform because I'm stamping straight onto my card base and I don't want to mess it up. So I'm going to put Sweet as Honey there, like so. And pick it up. I'm lucky that I've got the Tim Holtz Tonic Studios stamping platform, which I absolutely love. I use it for my big Lavinia stamps, and anything that I know I'm probably going to mess up not stamping first time. So I'm sorry you can't quite see this off camera. I'm inking up really well because it's a heavy thick stamp using my VersaFine Claire in Nocturne. And the beauty of using a stamp platform is that if you don't get a clear impression the first time, you can re-ink and stamp again. And just applying a little bit of CPR, you can get a tool that you smoosh over, but no, I'm just applying CPR to the stamp. And there we've got an absolutely perfect impression with that, actually, with one inking. So I'm very pleased with that. Let's just take that off. I'm just going to stamp it off on my scrap paper. Now I'm feeling like I might just want a little bit of interest in this space here and this space here. So I don't know whether to put another bee or two. Or whether to leave it as is. I think oh, I don't know. Less is more, isn't it? Less is more. This is what I need to learn. Less is more. But I think I am going to put the larger of the two bees. Maybe have him there like that, as if he's flying away from the honey. And we will put him on the stamp platform, just so that in case I make a mess, I can stamp again. And I'm going to use my VersaFine Onyx Black this time, because this is a slightly finer stamp. That's the word I'm looking for. I did have a bit of kitchen roll somewhere because I've splodged on here. I'll just wipe it off with my finger. Inky fingers. Because we don't want that going on our card, do we? Okay, and here we go. Bringing this over, getting tangled in wires, and just stamping down. And hopefully, there we go. Lovely little image there. So it looks like he's flying away from the honey. So let's take him out, take the card out. And the final thing I'm going to show you how to do is to make an envelope. So I've got an envelope punch board, and for the envelope you will need a piece of paper or card, lightweight card of your choice. That is 8 1/8 square. And I'm bringing in my envelopes punch board and my score tool, and it tells me on my punch board for an A2 card I need to score at 3 3/4. So 3 3/4, I'm lining up there, hopefully you can see, and I'm punching. My envelope punch board is very old now, and I need to look to see if I can sharpen the mechanism, because it does sometimes leave a little bit of a ragged edge. Got ink on my finger and a splodge there, never mind, we can make that work. And then you don't line up at 3 3/4 again, you line this notch up with the score line and punch and score, and you just repeat that process. Punch. You can also obviously buy pre-made envelopes. It's just that I've got this paper and I might as well use it. So you can round your corners if you want to. I'm not going to on this occasion because I've kept all the others nice and crisp. And I'm just going to gently fold and burnish those score lines. Don't be aggressive. I've seen people do this and they're very aggressive and they crack and even rip their envelope, which is not what you want, obviously. So just burnishing down and burnishing down, and then you want to glue. Obviously, if you're using a directional paper or a pattern paper, have a look and see which you like best. But we have just got white, and I'm just applying adhesive, a thin bead of adhesive, just leaving a little gap there because this sticks out over the top. And there we've got our envelope. And just so that the recipient can glue it down, or secure it rather, I'm just going to use a little bit of double-sided tape on the flap. Just so. You can, or you used to be able to buy glue for envelopes that kind of dried clear. Right, now I want my stamping block, which is here, and on the back we are going to stamp the bee. This is why I like making envelopes, because you can personalize them and coordinate them with your projects, and you know, it's creating a first impression, isn't it? So I'm just lining up and stamping down. I've used the Versafine Clair for this. There we go. Turning him over, stamping off excess ink so I can put my bee back on the carrier sheet. And then I have the small daisy, and I think I'm going to come back with the Versafine for this, because this is a slightly finer design. Just lining up in the corner and off. There we go. Did you hear that little kiss then? That's the kind of sound that you're aiming for with your stamping. So we can put these in our little box now. Let's just move those out of the way. Bring the box back in. Put our envelope in the box and our last card in the box. And what an adorable gift. And obviously you can use whatever you have to hand. If you're not a stamper, you can use decorative papers. I've put a lot of process into this, as I say, with stamping the backgrounds, creating the backgrounds, but you know, just use what you have. And I think this would just make a wonderful gift for anybody of any age, really. You could do it for a child to encourage them to write thank you letters for birthday and Christmas presents, couldn't you? You know, and use some really fun, cute character themed papers. So I must thank Aimee from Crafting with Aimee, I think it is. I'll leave a link to her channel down below. I saw her make one for a hidden giveaway. I saw the person open it on a hidden giveaway first of all, and thought, yes, I tried to make these back in the day. There were lots of tutorials from Stampin' Up, but they were quite flimsy, and this is really, really sturdy. So thank you to Aimee for your tutorial. Let me know down in the comments what you think, and I shall be back soon. Take care, everybody. Bye now. I really am going now.